Alrighty, yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. DDG94 here, back with another reaction video. Today, we finna react to once again, y'all. Once again, on Black History Month, the last the last day of Black History Month, and we finna do the mayonnaise, the tuna, the Mountain Dew, the Twisted Tea, the NASCAR, the Make America Great Again hat, the Trump 2024 posters, the Charlie Kirk stickers on the car. We watching another goddamn WatchMojo video.
They put on your sandwich too much goddamn mayonnaise.
The Taylor Swift. No, I don't even think they fuck with Taylor Swift no more. I don't think they fuck with Taylor Swift no more. But y'all know what I mean. The Kid Rock. The Kid Rock. That's what they want. They want that Kid Rock. Man, look. We here to do another WatchMojo video. It's been a while since we did these. For the last day of Black History Month. I know y'all probably like, oh, the last day of Black History Month, my brother. That's how you do what's my brother on Black History Month, my brother. Nah, brother, turn that music off, my brother. On the last day of Black History Month, my brother. You gonna give us a WatchMojo video, my brother? The mayonnaise and the tuna, my brother?
Thanos.
Now, is it me or is it a conspiracy, my brother? Hey, look, man. Hey, look. I get it. I understand. Last day of Black History Month, and we doing a WatchMojo video. Should be ashamed of myself. But anyways, though, we're gonna get right into this. This is the top 20 PS2 games that are better than modern games. Ain't gonna lie, there's some PlayStation 2 games out there that still hit to this day. Some of them we wish got remasters, but we also know that certain companies, they close up, they don't exist no more. So the IP's going to limbo. It is what it is. But anyways, though, without further ado, let's get right into this.
This party's getting crazy. Let's rock.
Welcome to WatchMojo. And the current gaming landscape may be on fire, but during the PS2 era, we had more and better games that managed to put modern titles and developers to shame 2 decades later.
Dad, your fans want you outside.
I'm gonna try to play this soon. As soon as I finish up a couple of these side projects that I'm working on, I'm gonna start doing more gaming stuff, and I'm definitely gonna try to do Simpsons Hit and Run. That's been sitting on the Xbox for a minute now.
Fans? Oh, those fans.
Resident Evil Outbreak.
The only Resident Evil I've ever played is 4. I ain't played no Resident Evil since.
Remember Resident Evil Reverse, the multiplayer-focused offering that no one was asking for? Well, it's deader than the series of zombies only a couple years after release.
Damn.
Why Capcom chose that particular genre is anyone's guess, especially when the groundwork for a beloved online...
Brother, you know why. Money. Monetization. You take a famous IP, turn it into a live service game, and then you can monetize it for as long as you need to. But the problem is, people don't play these games for multiplayer. People didn't ask for it. So if they ain't asking for it, why do it? But these companies don't care. They just want the dollar.
Resident Evil game had been laid 20 years earlier. Teaming up with other real-world players, the group needs to work together to escape Raccoon City during the midst of the zombie outbreak, and each member of the group had special abilities that would assist in various puzzles and combat encounters. Outbreak was absolutely a title that was ahead of its time, and especially with one of the game's main characters, Alyssa Ashcroft, tying directly into Requiem, Capcom clearly hasn't forgotten this gem that showed them how to properly do online cooperative play all the way back on the PS2.
You were lucky.
I earned it.
Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec. There was a time when Gran Turismo was the premier car enthusiast series, and while that's still mostly true today, the series doesn't carry the same weight it once did, and arguably, the series has been chasing the same heights of Gran Turismo 3 ever since.
Gran Turismo ain't got shit on Horizon. Let's just keep it real, bro. If we talking about, matter of fact, it ain't got shit on the truck driving games out there. There's truck simulator games out there, bus driver simulator games out there. They shitting on Gran Turismo, bro. Like, let's be for real. Let's see here. We ain't had a Midnight Club game since 2008, 7. Need for Speed has been dog shit for quite some time now. And Horizon is really the only good game that they put out. So shit, if we being honest, Forza is the only good game that they put out, bro. They've been shitting on as far as like driving games go, they've been shitting on Gran Turismo for years now. I don't even know how people still say Gran Turismo is still one of the best driving games out there. It is not fucking with Forza at all, bro. Stop it.
Since the early days of the PS2. A-Spec put the Gran Turismo series on even the most casual racers' radar, and made such a cultural impact on the genre, it still hasn't been matched even by the series' subsequent sequels. With nearly 200 cars, multiple levels of challenge for everyone from diehard fans to beginners, fully fleshed out tuning and customization options, and numerous race modifiers, A-Spec remains the ultimate gearheads game and still has a thriving community even today. With the increased focus on microtransactions and online play of the series, A-Spec remains one of the best entries focused on the race itself and the cars on the track. Soul Calibur 3.
I'm impressed that you made it.
Hey, Soul Calibur was one of them underrated fighting games, bro. It's only a few fighting games I played. Mortal Kombat, because that was one of the first video games I ever played. So Mortal Kombat always had a special place in my heart, and that's why every time Mortal Kombat come out, I always do them. Speaking of which, I need to do the fucking DLC. I didn't buy the DLC for no reason. I still ain't played it yet. Y'all like, damn, bro, when you gonna do that Mortal Kombat DLC? Your Mortal Kombat videos be your best product, bro. I know, but you gotta give me time, brother. I'm gonna do it at some point. I'm gonna try to do them at some point. Try to get the Mortal Kombat DLC out the way. I've been putting that off over a year. Because I think on Black Friday of last year, it went down to about like, I think it went down to about like $20, so I bought it. I'm not paying for no DLC that's gonna be $50. You got me fucked up. But when it went down to 20, oh yeah, I bought it. It's been sitting on my Xbox for a bit. I just ain't played it, bro. I got hella games on my Xbox, bro. From that Black Friday, from this year's Black Friday. This year's Black Friday, I got hella games that I ain't played yet. we gonna get it. I'm gonna definitely turn up with the gaming, but like I said, I got too many side projects right now I'm working on.
This far, not bad.
But Soul Calibur is definitely one of the ones.
No shortage of fighters, but few, if any, manage to be as fun and consistently entertaining as Soul Calibur 3. The focus on weaponized combat as opposed to fisticuffs was unlike any other fighter, and with a swath of improvements across the board, Soul Calibur 3 remains one of the definitive entries in the franchise. While the vibrantly beautiful character and arena designs and solid impactful combat would have been enough to make the title stand out, it was the game's character creator that really allowed players to customize their experience. Utilizing a myriad of fighting styles, armors, and weapons, players could craft their own combatant to play through the game's many challenges, and allowed for better and more replayability than in the series' past. Soul Calibur might be on its 6th entry today, but it has yet to meet the quality of the PS2 entries.
You're better than I expected. Your skills are impressive.
Unfortunately, neither choice works for me.
Dragon Quest VIII: Journey of the Cursed King.
I ain't never played these games.
I guess thieves need to be quick on their toes.
I ain't never played
Dragon Quest.
I don't even know what this
It was
is.
the series' 8th entry that made the casual crowd take notice. During the height of Dragon Ball Z's popularity in the West, Akira Toriyama's iconic art style was finally fully realized in gorgeous 3D models, bringing the world and the tale of a band of heroes trying to prevent the end of the world to life in a way the series never had before. The world itself felt alive thanks to the in-game day-night cycle, and every town you visit felt different from the last, making the world feel like a real place. Combat might not have been anything special, but the turn-based mechanics the series helped pioneer were and still remain the industry standard.
What? Still here? If you won't do us the favor of leaving, I'll be happy to provide some encouragement.
Okami. What is arguably one of the most beautifully artistic games ever made,
I never
Okami
played
introduced
this.
players to not only a world they never experienced or history they likely never knew existed, but game mechanics that were unlike anything else on the PS2 or really ever since. Fully embracing the experimental nature of video games, Okami gave players a watercolor world and the tools to bring it to life. The entire world feels handcrafted, as if a painting had come to life to tell its story and you were the artist. The Celestial Brush allowed players to not only rebuild the world, but also utilize a multitude of brushstrokes in combat as well. While video games continue chasing the uncanny valley of realism, Okami utilized its cel-shaded art style to make itself stand out and remains an icon of the PS2 era's experimental approach to game design. Need for Speed Most Wanted.
He's dangerous.
I'm not gonna lie. After playing this shit is overrated. I said what I said. I said what I said. Most Wanted is overrated. I don't care what y'all say. Need for Speed Underground 2 is the best Need for Speed, hands down. Fight me. Fight me. I said what I said. Most Wanted is the most overrated Need for Speed of all time. I said what I said. That shit is super overrated.
Careful, he'll swap paint if he has to.
First, I'm gonna take your ride, then I'm gonna take your girl.
I don't see how y'all can find this. Bro, the rubber banding in this game is fucking atrocious. Versus Need for Speed Underground 2, where it's basically the rubber banding is not there. It's literally not there in Need for Speed Underground 2. If you got the faster car, you got the faster car. Point blank, period. The rubber banding doesn't exist in that game. So I don't see what y'all see in this game. Other than the graphics and the cars and the fact that you're getting chased by the police, I understand that aspect of it. But like as far as like the racing, because that's mainly what you're doing in this game, you're racing. Bro, the game would be good if the rubber banding wasn't there. If you could take the rubber banding out and put the same type of game engine that was in Underground 2 in this one, where if I have the faster car, I should win the race with ease. But if you're going to include cops and all that stuff, that's fine. That's good. That's a good dynamic to bring to the race. But don't include rubber banding with it to the point where my opponents can keep up with me if I make one little mistake. I hated that about playing Most Wanted back in 2014. I mean, not 2014, 2024. A couple of years ago. When I was playing Need for Speed Most Wanted, I hated that shit, bro. I don't care what anybody says. Underground 2 is the best Need for Speed, hands down. Fight me. Oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. I said what the fuck I said.
He's dangerous. Be careful, he'll swap paint if he has to.
First, I'm gonna take your ride, then I'm gonna take your girl. Get ready for that.
Need for Speed has been going through something of an identity crisis in recent years, but on the PS2, not only did the series thrive with entries such as Hot Pursuit 2 and Underground, but managed to become innovators of the genre with Most Wanted. Combining the best elements of both Underground and Hot Pursuit, Most Wanted dropped players into a massive open world full of shortcuts, jumps, and hidden secrets, and challenged them to regain their street cred while avoiding the law. Taking cues from GTA's wanted system, the longer you were able to outrun the police, the more severe the response became until it felt like the military itself was bearing down on you. This was the Fast and Furious formula fully realized, and the result is just as exhilarating today. Hell, even the live-action FMV cutscenes were well done and surprisingly entertaining.
Hey, where's your punk money now?
What happened?
What happened is he's all show and no go.
Dark Cloud 2.
I was so scared then, but in a way it was really fun.
I never played this either.
These days, developers try to blend as many genres as possible into the game to appeal to the widest demographics, oftentimes much to the game's detriment. However, Level 5 managed the impossible way back in the early days of the PS2. With a time-bending narrative, a gorgeous cel-shaded art style, dungeon crawling, fishing, weapon crafting, and city-building mechanics, modern games would crumble under the ambition of this forgotten RPG gem. The cities you rebuild affect the future as you hop back and forth, and you earn specific rewards for rebuilding the city to the residents' request, and can even use materials found in the game's many dungeons to forge and invent your own weapons. This was probably the closest the PS2 ever got to having their own Legend of Zelda title, and everything about the game worked brilliantly and all tied back into the game's overall narrative.
It must have picked your father. And then it picked you next.
What? Me?
Black.
And I played this. This was a good ass game. This was super good.
These days, first-person shooters can be anything from hyper-realistic to zany, cartoony, over-the-top experiences with no regard for the laws of physics. But with Black, developer Criterion managed to find a balance between the two and fully embrace the insanity of the genre. Black not only uses its spy movie influences to craft its world, but combines that with some of the most bombastic gunplay the genre has to offer. The sounds of the game's many weapons and explosions was enough to blow out your speakers, and it was glorious. The cacophony of chaos was all the more impactful with the game's approach to environmental destruction, with much of the game's world fully explodable. Black dropped you into the middle of multiple war zones and gave you the weapons to let the enemies know you weren't trapped in the arena with them, they were locked in here with you.
Damn.
Kingdom Hearts 2.
I have never played Kingdom Hearts. I probably don't plan on playing it anytime soon.
And now for something that modern Disney would never agree to. We have a series that has no right to work as well as it did, or be such a revolutionary cultural moment back on the PS2. Born from a simple and literal elevator pitch, Kingdom Hearts combined the best of the Disney Vault and Final Fantasy's RPG elements, threw them into a blender, and gave us one of the deepest and most complicated video game lores of all time. Whereas the first game was a solid yet flawed experiment, the sequel fully realized the concept's potential while also delivering the engaging combat the first game was missing. More cameos, more detailed worlds to explore, a deeper narrative full of twists and turns, more options for your companions to aid you in battle, Donald, and everything came together so perfectly, even the most recent third entry couldn't recapture the magic. Ultimate Spider-Man.
Ta-da! You scared me. You done with my butt? Hole yet?
Hey, yo.
There's an idiot causing trouble a few blocks from here.
We had no shortage of Spider-Man games on the PS2, including the highly influential Spider-Man 2 movie tie-in, but even with
I had to blockbuster this game. I only played it for a little bit. It was fun though. It was cool. I got it on the Xbox. I just haven't gotten around to it yet.
the numerous subsequent web-swinging adventures, including Insomniac's forays into the red and blue tights, none have managed to capture the pure essence of the webhead better than Ultimate Spider-Man. The game's cel-shaded art style, perfectly paired with the use of comic book panels during cutscenes, brought the world of Ultimate Spider-Man to life in a way no adaptation ever had before or since. This game also perfectly captured Peter's witty sense of humor adapted directly from the series that inspired it.
Hey you! Is that a rhinoceros horn or you just have to be... Let's see...
Hey, yo,
I'm
Paul.
so scared I can't even finish my lame joke.
The open world was wonderfully put together and even allowed players to experience 2 separate campaigns as both Spidey and Venom, each with their own unique powers. Throw in a myriad of cameos and you've got the best adaptation of the webhead probably ever. The Mark of Kree. The Mark of Kree is often overlooked when discussing the best action-adventure titles on the PS2, but it deserves so much more recognition than it has received.
I've never played
Using a
this.
Polynesian visual style with its gorgeous watercolor aesthetic, the Mark of Kree was wildly innovative with its combat system when other action games were focused primarily on button mashing. By highlighting enemies, they would be assigned a specific face button and could only be damaged by the corresponding button. This system was incredibly innovative for the time, and in some ways led to Rocksteady's implementation of their now industry standard combat mechanics in their Arkham series. Combat notwithstanding, the Mark of Kree represented a shift towards developers adapting broader cultural legends and heritage that has become much more mainstream in modern gaming. Suikoden 3. Suikoden 2 is widely regarded as one of the greatest RPGs of all time.
I don't know what this is either.
Follow-up doesn't always get the same level of respect. With 3 entirely separate protagonists, each with their own dedicated storyline, and the ability to recruit well over 100 additional characters to your party, RPGs don't get much deeper than this. Nowadays, RPG characters can sometimes feel one-dimensional, their motivations almost non-existent besides you asking them to join your party. But Suikoden 3 somehow made each of these hundreds of characters feel real with their own backstories and motivations for joining your cause. Not only do the main characters all have different battle styles, but you also need to plan party formations and group attacks as well as some more cinematic one-on-one encounters to deepen the emotional stakes. With so many individual characters and a deep, interesting narrative, Suikoden 3 is one of the most detailed and deepest RPGs ever made. The Simpsons Hit and Run.
Okay. It was so long
Come
ago
on, man.
that I'll have to describe it in
Well, then turn me
sepia
up.
tone. Well,
We used to be proper gamers. We had more Simpsons games than we knew what to do with, and now we get less than nothing. Were a lot of them crap? Of course they were, but they were still fun even if they were broken, near unplayable messes that no one asked for. And right when it seemed like they were finding their groove, boom, no more Simpsons games for you. Without question, the last great Simpsons experience was Hit and Run, and proved that all it took was the family finding the right formula to rip off. Repurpose to create a classic. Everything from the look of Springfield to the characters, the writing, and even the gameplay were the best The Simpsons ever had. And we may never get another tie-in or Simpsons game like this.
One of the best blockbuster rentals I think I've ever purchased. I've ever gotten. One of the best blockbuster purchases I think I've ever gotten, bruh. Fire ass game, bruh. I kept re-renting this game from Blockbuster. Cause I was trying to beat it, bruh. This game was too fun, dog. Trying to beat this game, bruh.
Ever again, and that makes us sad.
imagine that, scared of some harmless nuclear waste. So very harmless.
Okay.
Oh, cut your fingernails!
SSX Tricky.
I still have yet to play SSX.
Right on, baby.
Believe it or not, there was a time when extreme sports games were their own genre. Now, almost nothing. And the few that we do get fail to recapture the pure, unadulterated fun and outlandishness that was SSX Tricky. Featuring some of the series' most recognizable characters, simply making it down the mountain in first was only half the battle. With countless unlockable outfits and boards, a myriad of tricks to learn, and the ever-increasing challenge of the races themselves, Tricky was a trip in every sense of the experience. SSX3 attempted to leave some of the over-the-top gimmicks behind, and the relaunched SSX in 2012 was a shell of its former self. For whatever reason, developers didn't think players wanted flashy characters who would trash-talk one another between races, and allowed brightly colored tracks to race down at breakneck speed.
That was stupid.
Weird. It's almost like they forgot games were meant to be fun.
Exactly. Well, that's EA for you.
I kicked
take?
That's EA for you.
Clank Up Your Arsenal.
Hey, look! It's a new sergeant! Huh? Hey, Sarge, you can have my gun. There's too many of them! We're all gonna die!
The Ratchet & Clank series might still be ongoing today, but something just feels different. Once the series hit the PS3 and beyond, the entire franchise began to take on a darker, more mature tone. Whereas the PS2 entries were almost entirely focused on delivering unbridled chaos with as many inventive weapons as possible. Sure, there was still a narrative tying everything together, but the events were much more lighthearted and played for laughs rather than trying to pull at your heartstrings. Up Your Arsenal remains the peak for the franchise, offering the most over-the-top weaponry alongside the most varied activities and worlds in the entire series. Giant Clank worlds, Captain Quark side-scrolling levels, challenge modes, and even an addictive online multiplayer component. The Ratchet & Clank titles of today feel bare bones compared to the pair's previous outings.
Do not even think about it.
Burnout 3 Takedown.
Hey.
Traditional arcade racers might be a dying genre these days, but back on the PS2, these kinds of games thrived, and none more so than Burnout 3 Takedown. Beyond the overall goal of crossing the finish line first, players were challenged to take down the other racers in whatever brutal ways they could, and were rewarded with cinematic car carnage for their efforts. At every turn, Burnout 3 was rewarding and challenging the player's skills. Whether it be new cars, time trials, or the ever-addicting crash mode, Burnout 3 gave players more content to keep them coming back for more, and it was all on the disc.
That is true.
Can you imagine? No DLCs, no microtransactions, just a complete experience that remains not only one of the best racers on the PS2, but probably one of the best racing games of all time, and nothing today even comes close.
I don't know about that, Chief. But this was a fun-ass game to play.
Star Wars Battlefront 2.
I ain't played these. I played them other games that was on the OG Xbox.
Games, there's no property more varied and expansive than the galaxies far, far away in Star Wars. And who wouldn't want to team up with their buddies and shoot the absolute crap out of each other using their favorite characters from that beloved universe? Before Helldivers 2, we had Star Wars Battlefront 2, where every battle felt like the climactic conclusion to one of the many legendary adventures in the Star Wars universe. And with a plethora of weapons, characters, and vehicles to bring into battle, there was truly no better way to experience George Lucas's world than Battlefront 2. Not only was the multiplayer some of the best on the system, but there was even a meaningful and detailed single-player campaign as well. No absurd microtransactions, just good, clean Star Wars chaos. And it was glorious. Why was this so hard to replicate, DICE?
It looked fun though.
Devil May Cry 3 Dante's Awakening.
Okay. Okay, turn me up. Turn me up.
Guys totally wrecked my shop, and I haven't even named it yet. You're gonna pay for that.
Remember when action games were a thing? Before every so-called action game was really just a soul-like in disguise? Devil May Cry remembers. Devil May Cry remains the peak action game experience today, but with entries so few and far between, it's worth remembering back on the PS2, we had two incredible games and one we don't talk about. Dante's Awakening was the encapsulation of the series' ideas perfected. A cool and confident hero with the skills to back up his sarcastic attitude, a cinematic narrative wrapped up in brotherly family drama, a world-ending calamity full of creative creature and boss designs waiting to meet the end of your sword, and other assorted weaponry. Dante's Awakening focused purely on the adrenaline-fueled spectacle, and while it offered challenge for those looking for it, wanted nothing more than the player to have a good time.
Now that you mention it, you're right.
Final Fantasy X.
Listen
I ain't
to
played not a single Final Fantasy game.
This
Maybe our last chance.
The Final Fantasy series was once a juggernaut of JRPGs, and while the name still carries weight today, back in the day, the release of a new Final Fantasy game was an event. And without a doubt, the last true Final Fantasy game was the 10th entry. With turn-based combat on its way out, Final Fantasy X introduced new QuickTime elements to keep combat constantly engaging, and what is widely considered one of the series' best and most emotional storylines in the entire franchise. The move to 3D environments and the addition of voice acting brought the world to life in a way the series never had before, and along with their unique designs, made them icons of the series. There's a reason Final Fantasy X has managed to stand the test of time, and it's because it represents the last traditional Final Fantasy experience.
I see. I think. Yeah, but even if I did say something, no one believed me, you know?
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Oh shit, here we go again. Worst place in the world.
Ever since GTA 3, the Grand Theft Auto series has been one of the most celebrated and respected franchises in all of gaming. And with each entry getting bigger and better, they also have gotten much more serious and left out some of the anarchy that made the series infamous back on the PS2. San Andreas is arguably the last entry that fully embraced the series' chaos, giving players a, for the time anyways, massive open world to explore, full of secrets and even RPG-style game mechanics to customize their character, as well as a narrative that perfectly balanced the franchise's over-the-top nature, while also telling a compelling narrative that is still infinitely quotable even today. Subsequent entries have improved the graphics, the physics, and the gameplay, but there's something perfect about the unrelenting mayhem the PS2 entries let us unleash that the franchise has lost over the years.
Okay,
Go, I ain't gonna miss you.
goodbye!
Which PS2 game do you think puts modern gaming to shame? Share.
You should have put NFL 2K. You should have put one of the NFL 2K games on here for sure. That needs something because the Madden games haven't been shit since Madden 12. You could have put some of the NBA Live games on here since EA don't know how to make NBA Live games no more. There's a bunch of other games you could have chose, but I digress though. These games that I ain't never played before. A lot of these games I ain't never played before or didn't have any interest in playing, but I digress though. But anyway, so that's just gonna about do it for this one. Mayonnaise to tuna and the motherfucking mayonnaise, boy.
What they put on your sandwich? Too much goddamn mayonnaise.
But yeah, man, that's just gonna about do it for this one. Most definitely, these were some games that definitely make the newer games look like dog shit. But then again, that's not hard to do these days, consider how video games are. But I digress though. But anyways though, that's just gonna about do it for this one. I will see you all in the next one. Until then.
What they put on your sandwich? Too much goddamn mayonnaise.